For the book purists, for the Peter Jackson fans that are married to the films, what message do you have for them as they're awaiting the premiere of the series?
I would say, come along for the ride.
Immense amount of visual representation and a vast accessibility for every single person in the world to be able to stare at a screen and see a version of themselves staring right back at them. So for us to play with each other as we play together in the world every single day is, is exactly where it should be. And what a great way to relive Tolkien's work.
But what do we learn about woman dwarves that we didn't know through your portrayal?
Well, we learned that they exist. This is necessary. This is a revolutionary moment within our time, and to be the poster child of accessibility for people of colour, for women.
This is the first time that we see a woman, and the first time that we see a black woman in this area and this world and these works of Tolkien. You know, this is necessary. This is a revolutionary moment for cinematic.
The first to be seen. You know, we get her in a role of prominence and power.
This is necessary.
It's time for so many people who may have not seen themselves staring right back at on a screen to have that chance and to have that turn.
Well, it's a reflection of the world that we live in, you know.
This represents progression. This represents an acknowledgement of where we have been and a will to get to where we need to be in order for this to be accessible to everyone.
This is necessary.
It's time. I think with a franchise of this scale, it is so important that we make it as accessible as we possibly can for every single generation. It's progression.
That is the power of a female dwarf, and that is a presence that is necessary within our industry more than ever.
I am holding up the torch for, the women of that particular race and culture and kingdom.
It's progression. We are able to move forward, and we are seen and we are heard and we are acknowledged as having a right to be here as much as anybody else.
Anybody else.
And I know that people of colour will relate to that in that when we sing, when we use our voices, it comes from way beyond. It comes from our ancestors, it comes from the struggle, it comes from the desperation and the fight for survival.
Of having a right to be here.
What I love about the costume and the look, it's unapologetic. You know, she has a huge slit up her skirt, there is skin, there is ever-flowing water in this amazing silk material. We are not apologising for her strength and her visual beauty.
First ever female dwarf as a female dwarf.
Lisa, the first female dwarf that we have ever seen on any screen. The first female dwarf that we have ever seen in the works of Tolkien.
Of having a right to be here.
And we are acknowledging, of course, all different shapes, sizes and worlds in her vision. And I'm so glad that we had such an incredibly passionate and collaborative design team to make that happen.
Of having a right to be here. This is necessary.
There are so many diverse people out there who will have really enjoyed all of the works that we've seen before, but now they get to see themselves staring back at them. Like, that's incredibly important.
Of having a right to be here. And I know that there are many, many women out there like myself who will be able to connect with her. This is necessary.
The generation that comes after us now, this will be their memory of Tolkien. This will be their memory of the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And so we get to move that through and just be the beginning of this revolutionary moment for television, of course, the Tolkien franchise and works.
I guess is my last question to you is that, kind of that responsibility to the fans of playing a character where they think they know a lot. So.
And what I love about the writers on this show is that they have given every woman on the show, every female character, such agency. We don't serve the men around us. We have a storyline in our own right.
Of our version. I think it's something that really feels right for our times.
And I, as an activist, as a long-time human rights activist for my homeland, Iran, tapped into what I believe is, thank you. I tapped into what I believe women are doing.
I just think of my young self and how she would feel to see me on screen, and I have a young daughter and how she will feel to see me on screen. So I think that is. It's incredibly important in more ways than one.
So we had the privilege of working with Tolkien scholars like Tom Shippey and amazing linguists
This to me just feels like something that has just the furthest possible reach, and we're choosing to tell it in these times, so we should represent it for these times.
Amazon bought the rights to basically 10,000 years of Middle Earth history and then said, all right guys, let's take all comers and see what you have to say. And we felt like the Second Age is freaking awesome. And it's Tolkien's amazing untold story that...
For any great success story of any world or race, there are females, and here I am.
And read the books. He wrote a lot.